doing a truck broadcast because it was liked, kind of incorporating it in, had to go help a friend with some plumbing. Yeehaw! But this episode is incredibly important for us to all note, because it is this broadcast, this video is going to incorporate several ideas about what is happening. The other day, Uman mentioned the 72-hour news cycle. That is about every 72 hours, 3 days. They change the narrative, what we need to be worried about, thinking about, so that the media can give us the way to think about it. So, we had Afghanistan, then we had, General Milley, and then we had, now we have the FBI. Well, we had Dr. Fauci in there, but now it's on to the FBI again, and the president and the National School Board Association. This is, folks, a step in the wrong direction. It's a huge step in the wrong direction. I tell you. But they're going to do 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has been directed by the Attorney General's office, who was influenced by President Biden, who was asked by the National School Board Association to classify the parents of American children as domestic terrorists because they care. In other words, folks, being a parent is now fully politicized, and the fight against that has been fully weaponized. And it is coming with full-on blowback. Full-on blowback. This one may make it past 72 hours, but in a lot of ways, I think they'll need to change the narrative again, the news narrative, the news cycle. But for now, this is where they're going. They want to push as hard as they can on the American people, on parents, and say, hey, you don't have an opinion on your children's education, on critical race theory, on the LGBT agenda. You don't have a say in the curriculum. You don't have a say in your children's health at schools. And it's absolutely incredible. We got a little smidgen of this. Remember, we got kind of an early indicator last week when the Secretary of Education said parents should not be stakeholders. They shouldn't be the primary stakeholders in their children's education. That was kind of a warning cue for me, and that popped my ears up. And I was like, okay, this is where we're going, huh? This is what we're saying now. I gotcha. Right? We're going to start looking at children again. Oh, on top of that, they're pushing the Jim Jones juice for children as much as they can. They're going after our children, our grandchildren. They're going after the future thinkers, the future voters, the future workers of America. And they're pushing as hard as they can. Now, they've gone way past. And so what I predict they're going to do is they're going to back it up, but not as far as from where they came. They're going to say, okay, we're not going to call parents domestic terrorists, but anyone who threatens teachers or threatens the school boards is going to be treated like a criminal. Right? So what they're doing is they're using their police power to intimidate parents. But I tell you what, the parents that I've been talking to couldn't give a frog's fat ass about being intimidated by the FBI, not when it comes to their kids. Perhaps, hopefully, this is where Americans draw the line and say, no, we're done now. The FBI coming after children to promote the sick left-wing Democrat agenda. That's what this really is, folks. They're using the police power at the national level, the FBI, to go after children, to ensure that teachers and these left-wing sick fucks have the authority to override parents, to push their sick agenda down children's throats and force them to accept this as normal. Remember, CRT, folks, critical race theory, teaches children that being white is bad, that makes them bad, their parents bad, their culture bad, their country bad. It's fucking anti-American from the word go. And that's what they're pushing, and they don't want it stopped. So they're going to do all they can to keep it from being stopped. And they're using the Attorney General of the United States of America, and they're using the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, parents are screaming fucking pissed over this. Now, they're also and the state level. And here with DeSantis down in Florida says, no, the federal government is not going to come in here, is not going to mess with the rights of Floridians. Good for him and good for Florida. And he was instantly attacked also, knowing that he would be saying something. Governor DeSantis, is being excoriated once again by the left-wing media saying, well, he's doing things and Joe Biden is going to pull federal funding if he doesn't follow federal guidelines. And that's irresponsible. No, here's the quote. Irresponsibly dangerous. It's irresponsibly dangerous of Governor DeSantis to not do exactly what Biden and the Department of Education wants. It's irresponsibly dangerous. How about it's irresponsibly fucking dangerous to go around putting chemicals in people's body that they don't know what the fuck they're going to do, and it's not safe, right? Don't drink chlorine bleach. Okay, I won't drink chlorine bleach because it has been known to be dangerous to drink. Don't do it, right? Don't drink poison Kool-Aid. It's not good for you, right? But that's not irresponsibly dangerous. What's irresponsibly dangerous is telling the federal government to go pound sand. Furthermore, Senator Josh Hawley, who is beginning to realize the trouble the country is facing, is standing up and saying, no, this is all wrong. The Federal Bureau of Investigation should not be investigating parents, nor labeling them as terrorists. This is really fucking bad, folks. This is full-on Gestapo. Now, what did the Nazis have? What did the Nazis have that's similar to today? What did they create in Nazi Germany in the 1930s? Probably stretching back into the 20s, but it didn't become, shall we say, dangerously obvious until the 30s, was the Hitler Youth. That's right, folks, the Hitler Youth. They took young children in Germany, propagandized them, indoctrinated them with Hitler's Nazi propaganda, with Joseph Goebbels. You know, Joseph Goebbels, that guy's propaganda, his minister of propaganda, went after children and turned them into little, violent Nazi thugs. Precisely what we don't need and want in this country, because children don't know better. They're supposed to be educated, given information, and learn about the culture from their parents, from watching society and learning what's going on, not getting, directives from their teachers. That's not what education is, folks. That's indoctrination. And that's what they're doing, folks. They're trying to create the Hitler Youth by scaring parents out of the school board meetings, making it illegal, labeling them as terrorists. Furthermore, by labeling parents as domestic terrorists, young children are going to go, yeah, critical race theory, see, my parents are extremists, white nationalists, Nazi, blah, 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 blah. And the government is trying to stop my parents because my parents are so evil and bad. That is so absolutely wrong. I can't fucking describe it. Unbelievable. We're going to need more than Senator Josh Hawley. We're going to need more than Governor Ron DeSantis. And we're going to need more than angry, pissed off parents at a few school board meetings, folks. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the motherfuck? Pardon my French. Apparently the drivers here on the the old bayou having a little problem deciding what white paint is. Okay. Anti-lock brakes don't fail me now. All right, folks. This is where we're at. It's going to take a lot more. And I think that they're going to push this. They've got probably 2 more days to push it. Today, maybe tomorrow, before they need to change the narrative. Because they don't want the American people focusing on any one narrative too long. Whether they do a 72 news cycle or a 96-hour news cycle, that's too long for Americans to think about and come to their own conclusions and really have time to think about and digest what is being shoved down their fucking throats. That's why they need to change it. Now, the other part of this is, well, while we're being distracted, if you will, right? We're being irritated. They're irritating the fuck out of us with this National School Board, FBI, parents are terrorist thing. What are they doing behind the scenes? What else is happening? What's developing next? You see, this is, folks, psychological warfare on a domestic population. That's exactly what's going on, is we are engaged in an information war and a psychological war for the control of our domestic governments, local governments, state governments, all governments, and society. That is what people believe and think. And so they've got something that's coming next. Trust me. There'll be something new for the weekend. But they don't want us focusing too long on education, or we're going to figure it out. Because even brainwashed people can start thinking a little bit. And it only takes a small percentage, 10, 20, 30% of the population to say, you know what? You people are all fucked up. And then we get really loud. And I have been just incredibly happy, right, that I nailed that shit on the censorship, right? Facebook lost a bunch of value, supposedly. Nope. No, don't worry about Mark Zuckerberg. He's just fine. He's rich. The idea was to introduce the idea that there's not enough censorship and that government needs to take over. Oh yeah, the Biden government, good idea. And here we go, folks. Here we go. Where, if government's involved, that means they can't and shouldn't be able to censor. But instead, they're going to use the government to tell them to censor even more, and that makes it okay. Oh, that could be next on the hopper, folks. Who knows? It's always up to them. We try making it our deal, our fight, our struggle. And what do? Right? They take it away from us. They'll make another event happen. The mainstream media will focus on it and distract the shit out of us, change the subject. People will forget what the hell's going on. It's here, folks. Shit has hit the fan, and they are not quitting and going away. They will not leave children alone. They will not back the fuck up. They will take some of the pressure off of these terrorist parents. But don't worry, folks. Or maybe I should say, you had better worry. Because this is far from over, folks. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. You need it all. Right up here. In the old noggin. You need to talk about it with your family. You need to talk about it with your group. You need to understand who your local problem is in your 10-mile radius. Understand, folks. Shit has hit the fan, and it's not going to get better. Godspeed to you all. Semper Fi, and I'll be back. We got a lot to talk about.